Hey folks, my name is Tim Collins and I'd like to share with you 20 of my favorite less common jazz standards. So if you're a musician looking to expand your repertoire outside of the normal jam session tunes, stick around. The purpose of this video is to open your world past the typical standards that everyone has to learn. And also, just so you know, I'm focusing on songs with lyrics that I guess would be considered part of the Great American Songbook. And another disclaimer, I'm not including anything from Antonio Carlos Jobim, the great Brazilian composer, because quite frankly, I think it's worth probably focusing an entire video just on the works of Jobim. So I'm going to leave all of that out of this one. So I want to tell you about some jazz standards that will take you a little bit off the beaten path. I will play a few bars of each so that you can get a taste of what they sound like, and then I'll recommend some good recordings to check out. Please send all your complaints and compliments to the comments section. Trust me, I read them. So let's get started. Dreamsville. Enrico Nicola Mancini, also known as Henry Mancini, son of Italian immigrants. Lyrics by Ray Evans and Jay Livingston. This song was written as part of the Peter Gunn soundtrack, which was a TV show in the late 1950s. I learned it from my teacher, Steve Brown, at Ithaca College, and I'm forever thankful for that. Next up is Witchcraft. (1957), written by Cy Coleman, who was the son of Eastern European Jewish immigrants, and the lyrics written by Carolyn Lee. This song features flat 3 diminished chord harmony, which is pretty unusual. It also has a 40-bar form, and so that makes it a little bit challenging. There's a great recording, of course, by Frank Sinatra in 1957. Next tune, All or Nothing at All, written in 1939 by Arthur Altman. Sinatra recorded it as he recorded almost all of these. He recorded this one, however, in 1939, and it became a big hit in 1943 while the musicians were on strike. So I guess that's an interesting topic you could think about too. There's a great recording by Kurt Rosenwinkel and Mark Turner, and of course many singers have recorded it. It has a very long AABA form with a surprise modulation at the end. The next tune, Sweet and Lovely. What do Milt Jackson, Phineas Newborn, Ellis Fitzgerald, Bill Evans, and Thelonious Monk all have in common besides being awesome? This 1931 song, Sweet and Lovely by Charles N. Daniels with lyrics by Harry Tobias. It's a normal 32-bar form with an AABA structure, but the harmonic movement is a little bit unusual as it starts out on a minor 5 chord. Okay, if you're a saxophonist, then there's a chance you already know the next song on this list, My Shining Hour, which was written by Harold Arlen and Johnny Mercer in 1943. Arlen also wrote Over the Rainbow, which probably could be on this list, but it was recently rated by the website 538 as the greatest song of all time, so it's not really that uncommon, although jazz musicians don't tend to play it that much. Anyway, My Shining Hour is a great number to play at fast tempos. John Coltrane recorded this in 1959 on Coltrane Jazz, and he takes it at a medium up tempo, around 220 beats per minute. But this tune definitely gets played much faster than that at jam sessions, 300 and up. Another tune Sinatra made famous, as well as Sammy Davis Jr., who by the way was a very good vibes player. Too Close for Comfort, written by Jerry Bach, George Weiss, and Larry and Larry H. There are versions from Stan Getz Ella Fitzgerald and Joe Williams, Milt Jackson, Nat King Cole, and Ella Fitzgerald together. The harmony is a little similar to the song I'm Getting Sentimental Over You, with a descending bass line from the root down to the submediant. Music talk, I know. It has an AABA form, but the final A section has an 8-bar tag, making it a 40-bar song form overall. Autumn in New York. This is one of the all-time gorgeous ballads ever written. It was written in 1934 by Vernon Duke, whose birth name, Vladimir Dukelski, he actually also worked in the classical world using both names. He was born in what is now Belarus, and he spent 2 years as a refugee before getting a visa to come to the United States in 1921. This melody weaves seamlessly through the keys of F, A flat, C minor, C major, B flat minor, F minor, D flat major, before finally going back to F. And it's a masterpiece. You must listen to Ella and Louis performing this song. You must. Never Will I Marry, written in 1960 by Frank Lesser for the play Green Willow. My mom always hated it when I played this song at live gigs. It's a great song. This song is so cool because it has such a weird form, and it's got this combination of modal sections, which you don't get in other jazz standards. There's long modal sections, and then there's other parts that are very 3-6-2-5-y. And yeah, if you haven't heard Nancy Wilson Cannonball Adderley's version of this from 1962, your life is not complete. Your life is not complete. You have to listen to them. The Touch of Your Lips, written in 1936 by Ray Noble. Is there any more perfect surname for a Brit than Noble? I can't think of one. As an American, I feel like I'm allowed to say that. Anyway, Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, Bill Evans, and Oscar Peterson have performed this song, and it's a great song. Fun fact, Ray Noble wrote another very, very, very famous jazz song, and I won't tell you what it is. You just have to Google it. You'll be like, oh yeah, I know that, if you didn't already. I'm speaking, of course, of the song Estate, which was written by Bruno Martino and Bruno Brighetti. The popularity is thanks to João Gilberto. The song is in the unusual key of B minor, and it's very slow and sad and depressing. Dearly Beloved. Now this is a tune that I would find flipping through the real book, and I'd look at the simplicity of the chord changes and think, next. But then I heard Bobby Hutcherson play it, and I realized it's a really good tune. It's not very harmonically complex, mostly around a 2-5-1 in the key of C, but it has some nice phrasing, and you should check out a great recording of it by Stanley Turrentine. Golden Earrings. This is the theme song from the 1947 film of the same title, and it was written by the great Victor Young. It's very similar to a song that we're going to have later on in this list, as it really explores the minor tonality. I actually learned this song from a Keith Jarrett recording. By the way, Golden Earrings, not to be confused with the Steely Dan song Green Earrings, which is about a compulsive thief who steals his girlfriend's jewelry, according to the internet. Old Devil Moon, written in 1947 by Burton Lane. This song has a very strange 48-bar form, kind of ABC, sorta. It's a weird one. Great recordings of this song include, of course, the usual suspects, Sinatra, Chet Baker, but also Lena Horne did it as a cha-cha. And, you know, my hero, Bobby Hutcherson, played it, so you should check out that too, especially if you're a vibraphonist. It's All Right With Me, written in 1953 by Cole Porter. This is a tune that is often performed at faster tempos. Ella Fitzgerald's version is amazing. She does it in G minor. I think Brad Mehldau does it in C minor. It's a very long form AABA structure. Has a cool pedal point on the bridge and an 8-bar tag at the end of the A section. The Brad Mehldau live at the Vanguard is pretty rockin', and that's actually the first exposure to this song that I had. And yeah, great song. You should check it out and learn it. Okay, the next song is a really rare one. I don't think I've ever heard anybody play this live out on a gig. It is called Moon and Sand, and it was written in 1941 by Alec Wilder, Morty Palitz, and William Engvik. I learned this song because I was jamming with a fellow pianist at Manhattan School of Music 20 years ago, and he said to me, "Hey Tim, do you know how to play Moon and Sand?" And I said to him, "No, what's that?" And then I went and found a real book that had the chart in it, was playing through it, and it's a gorgeous tune. It has really unusual chord changes that I can't really compare to any other jazz standard that's out there. There are great recordings by Keith Jarrett, Kenny Burrell, and Chet Baker that I highly recommend. Oh boy, after an endless string of tunes in 4/4, finally we get a waltz, and it's Emily, written in 1964 by Johnny Mandel, who, by the way, as of this filming in 2019, is still alive, so that's a wonderful thing. Frank Sinatra recorded this song along with Stan Getz, and then I think the real famous versions among jazz musicians are by Bill Evans. It's a waltz with a 2-part form. First section is 16 bars and the second half is 24 bars due to cadential extensions. Oh, Cole Porter, you'd be so easy to love. You know, this is a great song. You can't go wrong with Billie Holiday's version of this song. Another fun fact, this song was written in 1934 for a very famous show called Anything Goes. You've probably heard that. The lead singer at the time, William Gaxton, didn't like the wide vocal range, and so the song was cut from that musical and then repurposed later for a different show a couple of years later for different singers. That wide vocal range, of course, is one of the things that makes this tune special. It also has a deceptively difficult chord structure, starting out on the 2nd scale degree and immediately going to a minor 5 chord before going back to a normal 2-5-1 cadence in the tonic key. Very cool, very unusual, and a great tune, and it's one that I always have to really think about when somebody asks to play it in a different key. But these tunes are all my favorites, but this one is really one of my favorites. Lullaby of the Leaves, written in 1932 by Bernice Petker. Lyrics were written by Joe Young. And this tune, this is very similar to the previous song we talked about, Golden Earrings, in that it explores all of the possibilities for tension within a minor key. And it's just a great song. It's a very haunting melody. Some great recordings include Jerry Mulligan, and Grant Green also recorded it. There's a really interesting version of Tony Scott and Bill Evans, which you should check out. There's an Ella Fitzgerald recording, and there's, of course, The Ventures. Now, Bernice Petker is too good of a songwriter to have only one song on this list, and that's why I'm including Close Your Eyes as the next one. Still a really fun tune to play. There are some great recordings by Tony Bennett and Doris Day, and my personal favorite was the live version that I saw Steve Nelson play about 10 years ago at Sweet Basil, I think it was. Nobody Else But Me. This is one of my all-time favorite songs. It was written in 1946 by Jerome Kern, and this, very sadly, was Jerome Kern's final composition. He died in 1946. This one twists and turns through the keys of C, B, A flat, G, A minor, and F before entering a final phrase that uses all kinds of passing diminished harmony to build momentum into the final cadence in C. I mean, he really put everything in this song. It's a 36-bar form, and it is a blast to play. I don't know every single tune. I would like to learn what songs you think are rare, because chances are I don't know them, which means I will have to go and learn them, and then I can make a video and make it look like I knew them the whole time. But thank you for watching. Hey, are you back there? Somebody wants food.